Hello, 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 amigas, and to Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. So this November is all about Thanksgiving, and it's all about family and really living a life of gratitude. And I felt that it was super important to have another family member jump on this beautiful podcast, Amiga Handle Your Shit. And I have my brothers, and my brothers work presently at Tapia Brothers Company and Kitchen Cuts. But what is so new and different is the fact that they have started a new endeavor. And we're going to really dive deep into that new endeavor. And it's called La Bodega Brewing Company. And so without further ado, let's get straight talking to these amazing bros that I have who are younger than me, just to say. They learned from the best, and that would be me. Just kidding. All right.
Not kidding.
Not kidding. Not kidding. Okay, so, please introduce yourselves. Let's start with the oldest.
Hi, everyone. My name is Raul Tapia Jr., currently VP of Operations for Tapia Brothers and Kitchen Cuts.
And now, and I see Erik is like, what? What about you, Erik?
Hi, my name is Erik Tapia. I'm the Vice President of Sales for Tapia Brothers and Kitchen Cuts, and jumping into the roles of part owners of La Bodega Brewing with my brother, and also Abraham Mercado, who's our brewmaster and partner.
Oh, wonderful. Well, welcome, guys. I love that you guys are here, and you're here to share your message, your tips, your tools, and how to jump into a new adventure, because it is not only exciting, but it's also risky, right? Because there's so many things that you have to think about in terms of opening up a new venture. And we have a wonderful role model, which is our father, Raul Tapia, who is the president of Tapia Brothers Company, who I had the pleasure of interviewing last week. So this week, it's all about my brothers. So, okay, so now you've been working at Tapia Brothers since you were young and have gone through the steps, because I think we all have worked at Tapia Brothers at some form and capacity since we were young. Now that you guys are VP of Operations and VP of Sales, now this whole new idea, new concept. So how did this come about? How did La Bodega Brewing Company come to fruition? Because you don't just go from the corporate side and jump into entrepreneur side. So I'd love to know your tips.
Well, I think it all started, we were at my house, Erik and I, one day, and we were just hanging out, watching a football game, having a beer. And we're in the kitchen. We start talking about beer, like, oh yeah, this beer, I forget what beer we were having. And at that point, I mean, we really didn't have any hobbies other than work, and it was like, oh, we should, get into something. Like, oh, Erik's like, well, we can try making beer. I'm like, beer, dude, I don't know how to make beer. Like, how do we even go about it? I mean, now you can go on YouTube and do all this stuff and do all your research and try to do it, but you always need someone, a resource to guide you through those steps. And then lo and behold, Erik's like, well, his best bud, Abe, has been brewing beer for like 10 years. And I'm like, really, Abe? Are you serious? He's like, yeah, they're pretty good. I'm like, oh yeah, well, see if they'll have him reach out to him and let us know what we need to do, what ingredients, and if he can help us out. So he texts him right there and then, and he's like, yeah, sure, do whatever you guys want. I think that following weekend, he gave us all the ingredients and everything, and we started with brewing a pale ale. And it was really just a brew kit that we bought. We didn't mill any grain. We didn't do anything like that. So we already bought it pre-made and just boiled it, and that essentially added the yeast and let it ferment. And we had beer. We're like, oh, well, this is not too hard. Maybe let's try another one. So then let's
try to really make it.
You guys really did the baby step one. Let's get the mill, let's get the grain, let's do it right. And so the next one we made was a Marzen And I want to say the Marzen, we caked it, and at Alexia's birthday party, we had it there for the family.
All right, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. Okay, so there's a bunch of names that are being thrown out here, and I do definitely want to get Erik in this. So there's this name Abe, and so Abe is Abraham Mercado, and which is the most interesting part about this. It's a full circle for me because I went to high school with Abe's brother. Now, here is the synchronicity of it all is that Erik went to Fresno State, and lo and behold, who is his roommate?
Abraham Mercado.
Abraham Mercado.
And on to top it off, he went to grade school since first grade with Jessica, which is my wife. So that's how I met Jessica. So he's been kind of the connect for everything in our lives.
And so for amigas out there listening, like there is synchronicities in everything you do, and always be on the lookout because those are just divine blessings that are being thrown out there. So, all right, so this is Abraham. Okay, so Abraham comes and shows you the ingredients and all that stuff, but does Abraham become part of this new venture? Like at what point did you say, okay, well, yeah, this is a hobby, but let's make it a something big?
Yeah. Well, Abraham, him being my best friend, you know how guys kid and I don't think it's gonna be that good, and just talking smack on his capabilities of producing beer. And I finally tried it for the first time, like, damn, I can't make fun of him anymore. This is actually really good. So going back and forth and working with him, with my brother as well, with Raul in his garage. It first started in my place, in my house. And at the time we were pregnant with our first son, and we were just making a mess. And just to alleviate the pain in our home, because we had so many things going on, my brother offered, and we started producing beer at his house. And while doing so, we just created a great bond, and we saw that we could work together, and we saw the opportunities, the sequences of Abraham doing such a great job on his recipes, and us having a distribution network to partner up with Tapia and being able to cover our customer base through Tapia and sell them beer. So we saw it as an opportunity to add to our portfolio of products, or our product mix. One thing in the craft world that we tend to see is they get lost in the shuffle in the distribution network. You have to have a lot of money to throw at a distributor or have to promote your beer and your brand. Where with us, we're coming in sync with our labels, our marketing, our product, and kind of throwing all that good mix into our own distribution network, where our sales team is focused on our beer and our label and being able to promote our brand essentially and focus on just our brand, where we could arrive to a customer and not only sell them a keg of beer, but be profitable. Because why? Because we're selling the rest of the items. So for a distributor, it's all about your drops. And as far as it making money, you got to be profitable in each drop. So we saw the opportunities there. We could add a case of beer and still be profitable as long as we distribute the rest of the product. Now we could be more aggressive on the streets and have our customer base throughout our 8 states of service being able to buy our product. So we saw it as an opportunity and the goal to expand and keep on growing. So that's where we kind of brought everything into fruition with Abraham's recipes, with our mentality on the distribution side, and our connection with our customer base, and already knowing the customer, being able to walk in there and sell them an item, and they know who they're buying from because they've already been serviced by us, and they trust our service. They trust the efforts of my brother and I and the rest of the team. So we saw it as a great opportunity, and just a way to expand and keep on growing throughout the years. Our parents set us up with a great life and a great business that all we want to do is keep on adding to it and keep on growing.
So adding to it and keep on growing. So in that mindset of adding and keep on growing, you guys decided to have an actual hub right? And I'd like to know a little bit more about that because, it takes a lot of money and a lot of time to open a brick and mortar place. So if you could elaborate on something on that, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one thing is time, right? Um, you can't make more of it. You can't rewind the clock. You don't know what's in front of you. So it's really, you got to put the time and effort. We put in bids for many places, many leases, and for whatever reason, it didn't quite pan out. The landlord pulled out the last minute. The owner of the property didn't want to sell it to us in the last minute. The roof needed work, so we went back to the landlord and said, "Hey, can you?" And they said, "No, this is all you get." So I mean, we must have looked at over 15, 20 different locations, and we first wanted to be in downtown LA. Thus the name. It's really Los Angeles Bodega Brewing Company, but it's La Bodega Brewing Company. So we always had our mindset, hey, we want to be in LA, but we're in LA County, so Whittier. We're from Whittier, and we really looked at different places in Whittier, but nothing came up until this one building, this optometrist building that we're in now was available. And number one, it's convenient for us, obviously. A 5-10 minute drive from our houses. And also Abe recently moved into the area, so it's perfect for him as well. But it all worked out. I mean, it really, time is really the key factor. Going to there, you have to try and look at different opportunities, different buildings, and see what's there. There's never going to be the perfect fit. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 times going to be the perfect fit, but you got to make it work where you're at. Our idea, we wanted a big place with a beer garden that people can enjoy our beer outside and hang out and have a nice experience. But that was, there was one venue like that and it didn't work out. And we looked and looked and looked, and it was at some point like, guys, we got to make a decision here pretty soon because, we're losing steam. And it's a little frustrating too at times. We all have different opinions. We all want different things. But at the same time, I think we have the commonality in that we want to grow our brand. We want to have a good venue for our guests, a great experience. And so we decided on Whittier, and it took a lot of time, a lot of different changes. We threw a bunch of things at it. And I think we got a great product now that's going to be doing our brand justice. But the time and effort it takes to find a location, it's overwhelming at times. So whoever's looking at a place, don't settle at the first thing that you see. Keep looking, and even though it's not perfect, you can make it perfect in your own way.
That's right. I mean, I think if at first you don't succeed, keep going, right? I mean,
Yep.
Isn't that the whole thing? So, okay, so you landed in Whittier and you haven't opened yet. And I know that many of us have been excited and eager to be there to experience what three of you have created. Now, tell us, how long did it take you? Because it's still not open. We're going to talk about a grand opening, but tell us, how long did it take you from signing the lease until today, and why did it take that long?
Oh man,
Yeah,
it took close to 2 years. Yeah, it was, and like how my brother just mentioned, that we kept on falling out of LOIs, which are letters of intent, and we kept on jumping around to different towns in LA County. But once we found Whittier, we fell in love with the space. It was nothing in regards to like the city giving us trouble. The city was really, really good to us, actually. It was a process. I mean, you have to go in front of the design review board. We had to change the occupancy. There were several procedures in order for us to even submit plans and get through planning and building and all that good stuff. But Utilities have been a nightmare. It's that building again, like how Raul mentioned, it used to be an optometry office, and there was not enough power. The gas lines were almost nothing. The water lines, you got to keep in mind the amount of utilities a brewery needs, the power it drains, the amount of water, the amount of gas to heat up our boil kettles. We had to revamp the building, stuff that nobody could see or won't know about, but people in the industry know. That's what cost us time, money, and it was just it was a slow crawl to the finish line, and it's been a learning moment, but it's been hard, and we're finally getting to that point that we're getting so close to opening, and now you're like, oh my God, I still have all these details to finalize, and I know we always keep on saying the same thing, the devil's in the detail. We've done so many things that you're starting to come up and revamp the concept that first started one way and now pivots to this, and you just want to make this enjoyable for the community, and we've been at it for so long that we don't want to take any shortcuts. I feel like we're so close to the finish line, but if we're not ready, we won't open. We want this to be the place that people want to come out for a date, who want to take their loved ones and enjoy a birthday party, or even go with some friends and sit at the bar and have a nice cold beer. But it's going to be an experience. That's what we want. We want this to be enjoyable and something different than anything you've seen in the brewery. And we've done things that are different, like our speakeasy concept, the whole mentality of it being a butcher shop and not promoting our concept. Everybody down the line is going to know there's going to be a restaurant, but not even promoting it. It's a butcher shop. You walk in there and we're selling our kitchen cuts, prime meats, Japanese Wagyu, which you can't find really anywhere. The first true Japanese product that we're bringing in is a selected cut for us. It's a drunken Wagyu. And it'll be hard for you to find it, and it'll be extremely pricey online. But with us, you could source it at a competitive price, even though Japanese Wagyu is not cheap. But we have the opportunity through our USDA facility to offer a great lineup of prime meats that nobody else can. Why? Because that's what we cater to. We service some of the higher end restaurants where allows us to have that buying power and allows us to offer those products. But like I mentioned, our biggest hurdle has been the clock. You want to open now because money is running lower and lower as the weeks go by, and you keep on checking at your account. You're like, oh my God, what are we gonna do now? Like credit cards start coming into play. It's just it gets rough, but I wouldn't. It's gonna be worth it, and for us, it's just we just want to make it right, and we want it to be a place that our community enjoys and talks about and brings people from other parts of town to enjoy it and to experience it.
So
and the other thing I was going to say, the other thing that didn't help us time is COVID. We opened up a business during COVID when many people shut down. Many breweries didn't operate for 8 months because they were not allowed to. And that's in the back of our minds too, like, oh my God, we're in the thick of it here. Are we going to be able to open? Everything's delayed, parts are delayed. People, are scared to come into work because they don't want to get sick. And by all means, that's a great, valid excuse. But that was really another monkey in the wrench that we just, there's no way, no predictability. We're in uncharted waters where you're like, oh, what's going to happen next? Like, geez, COVID, are we ever, can we open? Can we do this? Can we operate? So, thank God we're, everything's on the up and up now. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully, we can put this whole COVID behind us as a society and as human beings and move forward. But yeah, that was another thing that we had to deal with that, when we opened up Kitchen Cuts, yes, it took time, but we never had to deal with the COVID issue or anything like that. So that was something where I was, at times I was like, oh my God, like, are we going to be able to pull this off?
Or like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
why did he start this whole thing? But this is in the downturns is when you have that opportunity to rise to the occasion, and it seems like that's what's going on with you guys. So even COVID or no COVID, I think your idea, your concept is amazing. Amigas, you have to go and visit when it opens up. And one of the things that I believe sets this brewing company apart from other brewing companies in LA County is that there is this speakeasy element to it. And who came up with that? Because I think that is a very important detail, huge detail to really elaborate upon.
That was Erik's idea on the speakeasy.
Of course.
Yeah, kind of thinking outside the box and trying to. We had an awkward space that we were trying to fill in, but we wanted to make it different. And from the start, the guys that we've had our disagreements, but we've always worked to a point to figure it out and make it work and see and find a common middle. So we decided on first it being kind of like a bottle shop. You walk in and once it was laid out on the plans, it just didn't look right. And we're like, let's think again. Let's see what else we could do. And we're like, coffee shop, ice cream shop. But we always had that mentality, like we're gonna make it a speakeasy, 1920s, because of the design. The design work was done by my wife, Jessica. She knocked it out of the ballpark as far as the looks go. And once you walk in there, you'll see for yourself. And again, the whole devil in the details, like you'll see what it is. But the building itself, there's only two different type of design, either a Spanish design or an Art Deco element on the architecture of the facade of the building. So we went with Art Deco, and what better way to go with an Art Deco building with a 1920s speakeasy theme. So we ended up doing that front of a butcher shop. You walk in there and don't think there's a guy out there cutting meat. Again, we're processing everything at Kitchen Cuts, our USD facility. And again, it's all geared towards restaurant service. So you'll find some higher end cuts that you won't find anywhere else. But when you walk into our speakeasy, you'll see the showcase where you'll see tomahawks hanging. You'll see the Japanese loin with its extreme marbling there to showcase, and other middle cuts and some flat meat and some ribs for family barbecue. So we wanted it to be a place where you walk in and you're able to purchase your meat and your beer and take it home and grill like a family barbecue. There's other little miscellaneous items that you won't find anywhere else. We just wanted it to be more specialized and geared towards what we like, whether it be a mole, whether it be some type of seasoning, and making it a cozy little marketplace before you walk into our speakeasy tap room. So the location, again, it being geared towards the Art Deco theme and the design, we chose to go with the butcher shop of the front of it, and again, making it a place that you could buy your meat and go home and barbecue. But the concept of a speakeasy did come from us. Everybody had their input about it. I feel like a lot of times I throw up all kinds of ideas, and my wife kind of just puzzles it together and she makes it work. So my mind sometimes runs wild, and she's the one who kind of helps me put the pieces together. But she did an awesome job, and honestly, I just can't wait for the community to check it out and see what we did.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go check it out. Well, I mean, I've been going in, as it's been working out the kinks and whatnot. So now it's like ready to go, right? I mean, it's like, I know we're having a friends and family, but when is it going to be open for the community?
We're we probably shouldn't say it. We don't want to, because I know millions of people listen to this podcast, and we don't want to get bombarded with, with a lot of clients coming in or guests coming in. Our staff's not going to be overwhelmed. But we're hoping Monday. It all depends really how the friends and family goes. Like Erik said, if we're not ready to go live, we expect some good hard feedback from family and friends, because I know they genuinely want us to succeed and wouldn't lie to us and say, oh yeah, this is great when the experience is not great. We want some real feedback at the friends and family, and depending on what happens those 2 days, then we might have the green light for Monday, but potentially, yeah, we're thinking Monday of next week.
Wonderful. So this, I've accelerated this podcast so that it could be heard next week. So it'll be on a Tuesday. So I'm so excited because they get to hear this on that Tuesday, and hopefully you guys will be open to the public so that they can go and have their beer and enjoy themselves. Because I know there's so many details, like you were talking about the fact that the whole COVID just put a wrench into things. And so then service is also a thing, like if there's no people, then there's no business, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to the family event. I know that you will get a lot of feedback because our family does not know how to hold back, and that's what you need as a.
And that's what we need.
Yeah.
We have to have thick skin.
I'm excited for you guys. This is amazing. I know that we're getting at the end of our conversation. And so one of the things that I always ask my listeners, because this is Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast, and now that we have men being interviewed, and I'm always curious to find out from men such as yourselves, what do you find as a great quality for that you see in women on how they handle their shit?
Well, I believe women all handle their shit all the time. I think, in all honesty, it's harder to be a woman in the workforce than it is a man. So I would just, I respect all women and their work ethic and how they come to work. I mean, at Kitchen Cuts, 50% of our staff is female, and it's very labor intensive. We hired our first butcher female. So it's just women that are confident in what they do and are responsible and hardworking. I mean, it always comes down to hard work. I mean, you put in what you get in, or you get in what you put in. So it's really just the work ethic and your self-worth. Be confident,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And also ambition, risk. Like the women that are ambitious and drive to excel, they'll get there. There's plenty of women that I've seen that are hustling and have the personality to carry them in sales, and they keep on growing because people follow them and they follow their lead at times. And a lot of the women that I've interacted with in the sales, they're driven. They're risk takers because a lot of them are based on commission, and being a risk taker is important, especially in business. And if you have that drive, that motivation, that kind of boils in your belly and springs up into action, you'll find success in any element or any business that you put your mind into.
Oh my God. Yes. Well, thank you so much for that. And then also, I just wanted to make sure that that you guys tell us, what is one thing that you wish you had known before starting this new company?
That COVID was going to hit.
Not to make light of the pandemic, right? But we had a crystal ball, of course. I think everybody can agree with that.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, and then just budget-wise, it's really a lot more what we anticipated. We built buildings, we've done other projects, but this was our first brewery, so we had a kind of a guesstimation of what it was going to cost, but you know, it kind of went a little bit overboard. But yeah, if I would have had one thing, is like, all right, let's plan a little better. But now we know we have the blueprint now. So
Yeah.
second one will go a lot smoother, I think.
Oh, absolutely. So the whole thing is rinse and repeat. You rinse what you've done and you repeat it. If it works, you got the blueprint, you keep on moving forward. So I'm gathering that this will be one of many breweries. Is that true?
We hope that's the plan.
Okay. Well, then I am so happy. There's one that I can go to now, and I'm sure we'll be seeing other ones. And I'm so grateful to you guys for being on Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack. Love you.
Thank you.
Love you too.